Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is 11:29 p.m. and I just dropped off my good Judy, Tanya Jean Applestein, prettiest girl I've ever seen. And now I'm vlogging. And then I'm going to listen to my audiobook because I have about, I think I have 1 hour left of my audiobook. Which I have loved. I think people know this. I have loved. I have my phone screen. Hold on just a second. Oh, I'm at this red light. I have it on display and brightness on never so that it never goes dull. I do that while I'm reading receipts on my drama channel. So turn that off. Okay. I think people know that I have loved this book by Dorinda Jones, A Bad Day for Sunshine. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask me what it was called. So the book that I'm reading, I've tried to get my friend Valerie to read. I tried to get Tanya to read it. I've been telling everybody about it. Mel, it's called A Bad Day for Sunshine by Dorinda Jones, D-A-R-Y-N-D-A Jones. Now, I thought it was her debut novel. She actually has an entire series. It's like, you guys, it's like 12, 13, or 14 books. And it's all about this woman who is, somebody said something about it in the comment section. That's kind of how I knew about it. It's about a woman that's a greeper, like a reaper, the Grim Reaper, or a Grim Reaper, which I love that kind of storyline because one of my favorite TV shows back in the day was a TV show called Dead Like Me, was about this group of reapers, and like each episode was like something different happened. But this woman is like a reaper, and then in it, like sometimes when she's trying to get people to go into the light, like if they've been killed or whatever, they want justice for whoever did it to them. So I downloaded on Audible. I bought 2 Audible books today. I bought that one, the first one of that, and then I bought the first book in this other series that is about this woman who, she's in her 40s or she just turned 40 or something. I just saw this. This was recommended because of the Dorinda Jones book. This woman's I'll tell you what it's called in just a second. This is a series 2, and I don't know how many are in this book series. Maybe 6, maybe 8, maybe 10. I have no idea. The covers are beautiful, though. And I don't know why, all of a sudden, me reading kind of paranormal or fantasy stuff is interesting to me, but I'm willing to give it a try. So the Dorinda Jones books are called Charlie Davidson or something. That's the Reaper's name. Let me pull in here and I'm gonna tell you what the books are called that I got. The second book is about this woman, and she's 40, and she moves to some new town, and her son went to college, and she got divorced or something. It's her starting her life over, and it has something to do with magic or witchcraft. And the second book didn't get as good of reviews as the first book, but the whole series has gotten pretty good reviews. But the first book, people loved it. I mean, the reviews were unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. So let me tell you what these books are called. Hold on a second. I think it's called The Leveling or something like that. Okay, let me go into I have 2 hours and 2 minutes, which I listened to at 2 times speed. So I have exactly 1 hour to listen to my audiobook. Okay, the first book I got was not started. Hold on a second. Where is this? First Grave on the Right is the Charlie Davidson book. I think it's who the character is, by Dorinda Jones. So the first book is called First Grave on the Right. And I think I might listen to that next. And then the other book that I got was called Magical Midlife Madness. And it's by K.F. Breen. And I've heard really good things about it. So I'm super, super excited to try those books. And I mean, Halloween is coming up next month too, right? So those are great months to try. But I'm kind of excited. I've been saying that I wanted to get into a series. So those are 2 series that, and then I have the White Trash Zombie series by Diana Rowland that I want to read. And then I think I'm going to try to get through those series and see how I do. And I've got a bunch of standalones. Ready Player 2, which is the sequel to Ernest Cline's Ready Player 1, comes out like Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving week. It's like the 24th of November. I've already pre-ordered that. So you can pre-order Audible books and they just show up. And then I have like a bunch of standalones. I have like 2 John Grisham books, a Dean Koontz book. Somebody is texting me and I can't see who. Nobody ever texts me. I mean, you guys, it is unreal. I literally, like, if you look at my phone is literally like Alex, 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 Tanya, Tanya, Alex, Tanya, Alex, Tanya, my sponsor, like a couple times. Valerie, Valerie, Alex, Tanya, Valerie, Alex, Tanya, Valerie. It's like, that's it. You know, maybe my cousin or my dad, you know, thrown in there every couple days. But like, that's it. And like, nobody ever texts me. And then I get on a vlog and it's like, I mean, my other friends that are sober too, you know. But I think people think that like I have like hundreds of friends or something. It's just so not the case whatsoever. We went, Tanya and I went to Meijer tonight and I got all kinds of stuff. I actually spent more money there than I usually do. It's the end of the month and I have some extra money left over because I always like, you know, budget for shopping and things like that, and I really haven't this month. So, I bought 2 new candles tonight, and then I bought like 6 candle waxes. I bought 2 for Sarah because she really loves this candle wax called Amber Cashmere. When Sarah moved into her house, I went and I bought, I think I did a review of it actually. I bought a bunch of stuff for her house and I bought her a candle wax warmer, which she's obsessed with. And then I bought her these candle waxes. Well, her favorite was called Amber Cashmere. It's kind of this joke between us because we like if there was a woman and her name was Amber Cashmere. But anyway, so she's always like, I'm like, what's your favorite? And she's like, Amber Cashmere. She always says that. So I'm like, can never find it. Well, there's one called Amber Fire that they have at like Walmart, that Good like Housekeeping. I think it's Good Housekeeping or something. That's the brand, like the magazine of the candle waxes. Those candle waxes are fantastic. But my other favorite candle waxes are, people just, I would not really know like totally just how like total down home in Walmart I am. But I am like obsessed with candle waxes. Oh, it's Valerie. Anyway, I'll text her when I'm done. You know I'm obsessed with the candle waxes. So I got 2 candles tonight. They were $14.99 each. That was $30. It ended up, my whole bill came to $94. Why was it so expensive? And then I bought 10 candle waxes, so that was $20, so that would be $50. And then I bought re-wetting drops for my eyes. It's all in the back. What else did I get? Oh, I bought a coffee mug. Maybe I'll just show this stuff tomorrow and do a review of it. I bought this coffee mug that's really cute. It's a Halloween coffee mug, but it could be used for anything. I, by the way, I've been drinking all kinds of water today. I do have my coffee and crime time cup with me today. I bought something else that was expensive though. Okay, I'm trying to think as we went through. Oh, I bought these like protein shake things that are like pumpkin spice flavored. I wanted to try them. I got 3 of those and they were like $7.99 each, so that was like what I got. I usually don't do that. Like I usually don't buy the candles and all that kind of stuff anymore, but tonight, oh my god, I could have spent $200 at Meijer just on candles. They had so many good smelling candles. I got this one candle. It's called like, I don't usually love like cologne, like Tom Ford's like tobacco, that vanilla tobacco or whatever. I don't like that, like cologne. I did when I very first smelled it, and then every time after that I've thought about buying some, and I'm just like, I don't really like it. So I don't usually love like when colognes or candles are like tobacco scented. But this one, I said, oh my god, Tanya, you have to smell this. It smells so like, it almost kind of smells like a bonfire. It's fantastic. So I got that one, and then I can't remember what the other candle was. Maybe like, I think it was amber, something like amber apple or something like that. Maybe that was the third one that I was looking at. And I was like, Peter, you don't need, you've got so many, I've got so many candles at home. Abby from the Poorhouse Company, who I do my candles with. If you don't know, I have candles for sale again. Well, they've been for sale for a long time. There's 2 that are sold out, but there's 4, including my newest one, which is called Be Too Much, that are still for sale. It's linked below. You can go check it out. I do make money off those candles, just to disclose. But like, she always sends me, like, a huge box of candles and candle waxes and stuff like that. She's so sweet to me. And then I, you know, like, probably once or twice a year I go to, maybe 3 times a year, I go to, like, Bath and Body Works, and I buy, like, the candles there and stuff, you know. Usually, like, in the springish summertime, I'll buy some, and then, like, going into fall, and then, like, around Christmas time. Like, usually when we go to Edinburgh to do, like, you know, Black Friday shopping and stuff, which obviously, I'm assuming we're not going to do that this year, because, I mean, I don't think anything's open this year for Black Friday shopping. I think, like, everybody's saying that they're not going to be open this year for it. I think I'm going to do, like, all of my Christmas shopping online this year. I don't really have anybody to buy for anymore anyway. My dad and my stepmom, like I usually ask my stepmom something that my dad wants, or I do, like, a basket of, like, some, like, you know, cheeses and stuff like that for them or whatever. They're just, like, and they don't really ever, like, my dad's always like, don't buy us gifts, like, you know, whatever. But I try to get them something special. And then Caroline and Mike and David, I usually get something. Caroline, she is such a great Christmas shopper. Valerie just texted me again. She always buys me, like, really unique things. So I like to buy her really unique things too. Pulling to Denny's to read Valerie. I'm vlogging, dear. I'm gonna text her this time and be like, I'm vlogging. Denny's sounds so good right now. That's the one thing I miss. Like, that's not the only thing, but, like, one of the things I miss about being a vegetarian is a moon's over my hammy. I don't miss much, honestly. She's asking me about updating my phone. I haven't updated have I updated my phone? Everybody's talking about these widgets and stuff on the phone. I don't know what that means. I don't understand any of that. What are the widget things in your phone? I haven't even looked into it. I really, like, I don't care about all that kind of stuff. Like, my husband is somebody that, like, the updates and the better quality camera and all. I mean, I would still have, like, a 4, in all honesty. Like, I really do not care about all the upgrades. The only time that I upgrade a phone is, like, if Alex is like, oh, this new phone came out, you know, like, we should get it and whatever. Like, we've been ready for an upgrade for, like, 2 years or something. And, I mean, and all, you guys want to see the truth? Okay, here, this is so bad. Look at my phone case. Do you see this? How bad it is. It's ripping. Do you see? That's how much I care about it. I've been actually thinking about getting, like, a nice phone case. And I'm like, I don't know that I care about all that. And if you think that's bad, you should see the front of it. My phone's not cracked, but the case is. So yeah, I had fun tonight. Tanya and I went to Meijer, and there was nobody in there. It was dead. We were shopping around, and I'm ready to finish this book so I can start one of my next books. I'm really excited about it. And today was a good day. I slept in and got up. The little pups were so sweet today. And then I had almost kind of thought about maybe not filming videos today. It was, like, cool outside, and it was a fall day, and I was like, maybe just get a coffee and drive around, listen to my audiobook, and just relax today. But then I was like, well, I didn't make videos yesterday, and I wanted to make videos, and blah, 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 whatever. So I got up and took the dogs outside. It was rainy kind of earlier today, and it was like a true fall day. It's 52 degrees right now. And took the dogs outside, and they ran around a little bit. It was wet. It wasn't raining anymore. It was kind of lightly sprinkling, maybe a little bit. But then they came inside, and then I had, like, put up my vlog last night. So I didn't put it, I mean, it was all ready to go. All I had to do was, like, pick the thumbnail and do all that kind of stuff for the very end, the end screen and stuff, so I could publish it today. So I went to go get coffee at Starbucks. Do I have my Starbucks cup in here anymore? No, I finished my coffee. And then I went to Dunkin' Donuts to do a review. And I got to Dunkin' Donuts and I didn't have the memory card for my camera. I was like, oh my God. Everybody's like, always like, well, you should keep a spare memory card. Like my husband says that to me all the time. I'm like, I have 3 memory cards. I have one for this project that I've been working on, so I can't use that one. And then I have 2 other ones. Tucker ate one. I gotta pull in here and see what Valerie keeps texting me. She's texting me about this update on my phone. And have I updated my phone already? General. I think I already have. Software update. I don't know. I don't know if I have or not. I don't understand it. I'm gonna tell her. Okay, vlogging. So anyway, I don't want to buy another memory card. They're expensive. And I don't want to have like 5 and 6. I mean, I don't need that many, right? But because then what will happen is I'll have 5 and then like I'll keep the one in my car and then I'll use it and I won't put it back in here and then I'll still show up places and not have a memory card because I'm stupid like that. Oh my God, the battery is dying on this camera. I have another. I do have. Please tell me I brought the battery. I'm almost positive I did. Yeah, I did. I have 2 batteries actually. I think they're both charged. She just texted me again. I can't see what she texted me, but there is a blue heart on there. So I can see a blue heart, but something else too. She wrote something. So what is shaking back there? So yeah, so then I came home, I was like, whatever, I'm not gonna get my memory card and go back to Dunkin' Donuts. I had these shoes that came in the mail today that were absolutely ridiculous. These shoes that I had ordered like 6 months ago. Why? I don't know. They're so hideous. And I was so excited about them when I got them. Do you ever like picture yourself like in something and then like it comes? Well, first of all, they don't fit. I can't even get them on my foot. I was showing them to Alex in the bedroom tonight. He was just like laughing. He was like, those are so ridiculous. He was like, and I was like, they look like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like I showed him in my review because I did like a review of like the worst product I bought in 2020, which they are literally the worst product I bought in 2020. But they, you know, like in like, I was in the play Cinderella way back in the day, but you know, like those old school shoes that, you know what I'm talking about? Like from like that era, you know, like, what's her name? That said, let them eat cake. You know, like those shoes, that's what they look like. They're horrible, except for they're gold. They're like bright, glittery gold. And I'm just like, whatever. So I did a review on that. I was actually gonna do that for my Peter Does Stuff channel, but then I was like, no, I'll just do it on my review channel today. So I did that, and then I did a Peterisms video, and then did I do the Peterisms video next? Yeah, and then I did my drama channel video, and I started getting all that stuff uploaded, and then we were supposed to have our literature meeting, we did have our literature meeting tonight, but like a couple people started canceling, and one of them was Tanya. Tanya was like, she couldn't get it done tonight because she's getting her bathroom done, and so she was trying to clean up some of that stuff, because like they've been getting their bathroom redone forever now, like a couple weeks. And so she couldn't do it, and I was like running late. It was like 10 till 8, and my video still wasn't up, and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna skip it this week. We're going to our meeting tomorrow night. We're gonna go with our sponsor, and then we're gonna go get something to eat afterwards, which will be fun. And so I was like, there was like 3 or 4 people that like missed tonight out of like 7. So I was like, I don't think I missed once the last time that we did it. So I was like, everybody missed like 2 or 3 times. So I was like, this is my time to miss tonight. So I did, and then I hung out with Alex. He was working on his computer in the bedroom while I was finishing up that stuff. So when I got done, I went up there, and then I had like this birthday cameo that I had to do that was like really fun. I had a lot of, I'm having so much fun doing those cameos. So then, I think those are like my protein shakes in the back that are squeaking like that. I don't know. But anyway, so it's driving me crazy though. But anyway, do you hear that back there? Yeah, I think that's what that is. Anyway, I'll get back there in a second and move it. When I change my battery, I'll move it. Where am I at? Time. Okay. So I had all these bags of like stuff that I have purchased like over, I don't know, literally like the last 4 to 6 months. It was in the corner because I'm trying to like not redo my closet, but like, I mean, we would like to have like a professional closet done at some point, but we don't really need to now. We have a pretty nice closet, the way that it's set up, and it has like shelves and stuff in it. It's a nice walk-in closet, especially since we both got rid of so much stuff that we didn't need, and it's like cleaned out now and stuff. So, but I have to go back through all my t-shirts, pants, and sweaters and sweatshirts because I went through and I only saved the stuff that I thought I would wear when I, like now or when I lost weight. And I really went through and like made sure I only picked those things. But now, like looking at it, there's a lot more that I could get rid of. And so I had all this stuff that had to go in there too. And so I went through all this stuff. I took it out of the bags. I folded it. I was showing it all to Alex. And then I put that in the closet. But I still have to go through the closet because the closet's a mess. I mean, it's not a mess, but it's just like that's not organized, that area. And then I had 2 winter coats that I had purchased. All this stuff I showed on my review channel. And then I put those winter coats in the basement because we have like a hanging rack down there. And because we have like a little laundry area. It's like when you walk into our basement, it's like a laundry room. And so we have like a hanging rack there and stuff that has like hanging shirts, or has like button-down collared shirts of mine on there. But I also have like 4 or 5 coats. So I put those up with the other coats, and those are like brand new coats that I've never worn. And then, yeah, and that was that. And then I was waiting for my video to come up, and then it did. And then Tanya, I had talked to her, and she was like, do you need to go to Meijer? And I was like, I don't need to go to Meijer, but I'll go to Meijer if you want to go. So I was kind of looking to see if I had any money to buy some extra stuff, because I thought, well, maybe I'll buy a candle or something if I'm on there. Little did I know I'd end up buying everything I bought, but it's whatever. I don't do that very often. I did, though, tonight earlier, because I hadn't really purchased anything this month. I mean, nothing, like, really big. I've been wanting to get some watches, because I used to wear watches a lot back in the day. Like, oh, here's that construction thing. Damn it. They always forget this road construction. I used to wear watches all the time. And I don't talk about this very often on here. I'm not somebody that, like, loves and loves and loves like high-end stuff. Like, I used to. I would, if people gifted it to me, I of course would use it. Don't get me wrong, I think it's absolutely fine. I just don't want to become consumed with that. But that being said, I don't know if any of you out there have like one dream item that you would have. Like if somebody said, if you won $1 million tomorrow, what would you buy, kind of thing. I mean, I would probably buy like a condo or a penthouse in Florida or something. But past that, like one like clothing kind of item, bag, whatever, I've always wanted a Cartier Santos men's watch. Like for the last 25 years, I've wanted one. I also like the Cartier Roadsters too, the gold ones. I really like those. Justin Anderson has a solid gold one and it's gorgeous. He also has the Santos. I love Cartier Santos watches and I love Cartier Santos and the Cartier Roadster. And I like Rolexes too. That's kind of like my dream gift, to buy myself a really nice watch like that for my 50th birthday. I'm like, been putting a little bit of money here and there for that gift alone. But the thing is, I guess I have talked about this on here. I have this feeling that like when I get to that point that I have the money, like, because I'm not saving a whole lot here and there for that, you know, like that when I get to the point where I can buy that, like, I think I'm gonna have a hard time dropping that much money on a watch. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. So today, but I have been wanting to get some more watches because, I mean, I have several watches at home that are not like super expensive, but the only watch that I really like ever wear, is this. It's pronounced Jode, but it's Jord. I actually did a sponsorship for this like a couple years ago, and it's this wood watch. I get so many compliments on this watch, you guys. I love this watch. And you have to wind it up. It's like manual, what is that called? Automatic, I think, or whatever. No, it's just not battery. You have to wind it up. It is, I get so many compliments on this watch. I love it. I love this watch. So it's the only watch I ever wear. And I was like, well, I'd like to have another watch or two. So I have been looking because I wanted like a black matte watch. And there was this All Saints watch that I liked that was like $300. But it's kind of hard to order a watch online because you don't know like how it'll fit you or whatever, right? And I have a thick wrist, so like a lot of watches that you see online don't look the same when they're on my wrist, which is why I have to have like a bigger watch, right? So, okay, Todd Snyder, the designer, does a lot of collaborations. I don't know if you know who Todd Snyder is, but he does a lot of collaborations. He did a collaboration with Champion and Peanuts. Peanuts, like the cartoon characters. And he did all these sweatshirts. He did like a Snoopy watch with Timex that I really liked. I almost got that. It's on eBay. They have it on eBay right now. It's $150, which I think is a lot for a Snoopy. It's like a Snoopy Timex, but it's real cute. And he does like a lot of like, I really like his style of his clothing that he designs and things like that. But he does a lot of like, he just recently did like a collaboration with Looney Tunes as well. And he does like hoodies, and then he'll do like shirts and like just all kinds of stuff. But anyway, he does a lot of like I said, collaborations with different people. So he did a collaboration with Timex, and they came out with these watches that were from the 70s. And one of them was from like 1979. I can't remember what it's called. The watch looks very vintage, except for they modernized a vintage watch to still look vintage, if that makes sense. So, I'm not waiting, I'm turning on this. So, oh, it just turned green. So, that watch, they were each like 100 and something, and I got 2 watches tonight. Which as soon as I was done, I was like, why'd I just do that? I got 2 of these Todd Snyder Timexes, and then the other one is like a 1970 diving something that they redid as well, and it has blue on the top and red on the bottom, and then it's like stainless steel. It's really cool, but it looks very vintage as well, and I thought it would look really cute, which is like, you know, button-down collared shirt or something going out, and I just want to have a couple different watches to wear, because that's like one thing I do wear is watches, you know? So I got those. And then everybody's been telling me to not get my stuff at Sephora, my Sol de Janeiro stuff, because if you get it on the website, they send you like coupons and stuff. So I got on the Sol de Janeiro website, and I joined like their whatever club, some club, and then I bought some products on there. I bought lip balm and some other stuff. So I got all that. I'm excited about that. And yeah. And now Peter needs to not shop for a couple weeks because... Well, what happened was, back in the day, I used to... So I'm really into budgeting, okay? Like, tonight I went through and I looked at, like, everything that we have to, like, pay for in October to figure out, like, how much money I'm gonna need and, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm really, really big on budgeting. I've been on it, like, big on that for, like, years. And I'm a big believer in budgeting, so that you always know, like, you don't overspend and you always have more money than, you know what I mean? Like, that's, I'm a big, big believer. I don't like the anxiety for me that goes along with financial insecurity. I just don't like it. And, you know, when I paid off a bunch of debt years ago, and I learned a lot about that, and somebody said Dave Ramsey the other day on one of my, commented on my video. I'm like, I listened to Dave Ramsey, I read his books, I swear by him. I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, which wasn't by Dave Ramsey, but like I followed a lot of that kind of stuff, you know, the snowballing of debt, and did all that kind of stuff. that he also tells you how to continue to live and live comfortably and things like that, where, you know, but like a lot of it is looking at what you need instead of what you want. And I even talked about that today in my review video, where now I'm at a point where I can have some of those things that I want, even if they are wants and desires and not needs. I don't keep myself from I don't not allow myself to have things that I want. I just, before I purchase it, I make myself realize this is a want, not a need, right? Because it stopped. It was at the end. Because it's important for me to continue to realize that there's a difference between my wants and my needs, right? So like tonight, me going and buying all that crap, I had one need, and that was my re-wetting drops for my contacts. The rest was all wants, and I'm fully aware of that. And that's okay, you know, like I don't have a problem doing that tonight. But like if I'm at the point where I was doing it like 10 years ago with Tanya, where 4 nights a week I'm going to Meijer or Walmart and I'm blowing $100 on stuff, you know, $300 to $400 a week adds up, and you're talking about $1,000 a month. Well, I don't do that anymore. Now I'm talking about $100 a month versus $1,000 a month. And it became very, very aware of how I was spending money, what I was spending money on, the pie charts for, you know, spending on, like, I mean, Alex and I are very, very, like, specific and weird about that. I think, like, if you ask our friends, like, one of the things they would probably tell you is that Alex and Peter are very good with money. Like, and I'm proud of that. Like, because there was a time that I was not. That I was horrible at managing money, that I didn't think about it, you know, all that kind of stuff. But that today is something that, like, Alex and I have really worked hard on as a couple to, like, make sure that, you know, we're always setting money aside for taxes, and we're doing this, and, you know, that we go through, like, with the pie chart, and we look at, like, car payments, and, you know, all that stuff, so that we know, like, how much money we're gonna have, and how much money we need, and is there extra money. Now, I set money extra aside every month for shopping, and so does Alex, so that we can buy some of those things that we want to buy. If at the end of the month I haven't purchased anything, I roll it over into the next month, or I roll whatever's left of that into the next month. You know, I also have, like, an entertainment, like, thing. Well, we haven't been doing anything. I don't do hardly anything anymore, you know? So, that's been kind of, like, rolling over, and, that's been nice as well. So, I would highly, highly suggest to anybody I think Dave Ramsey's book is called Total Money Makeover. It's really a great book, and it's told, like, in such layman's terms that anybody can understand it. And it really made me look at everything in a completely different way, and kind of, like, understand what I needed to do differently, and it helped me understand what I was doing wrong, and the way that I was looking at money and bills and stuff like that wrong, you know? And I have to say that there was a time that I was so frivolous with money that I'd be like, oh, I don't care. You can't take it with you, you know, like, or, you know, you spend it now while you got it, kind of thing. And then 2 months down the road, I'd be completely stressed out, because I'd be like, oh my God, I bought that, I didn't need to buy that, blah, 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 whatever, you know? Like, I literally asked myself before a big purchase anymore, like these watches tonight, like, do you need these? No. This goes through my head. Do you need these? No. Do you want them? Yes. Are you going to be okay if you don't have them? Yes. Can you afford to buy them? Yes. Do you want to make this purchase? And then I ask myself that. And I actually go and look at things 5 and 6 times. Like, these watches, I've had these watches, these tabs open on my computer for a while now, looking at them, you know? Which is silly. I mean, they're not like they're $5,000 watches, you know? But at the same time, I don't want to keep myself from not getting things I want from time to time, but I don't ever want to go back to that being a shopaholic, spendthrift kind of thing. You know, like, going through my closet today, like, putting those clothes in there, I said to Alex, I said, this is literally like shopping, because, like, I have all of these clothes that I've never worn that have their tags on them that I'm putting into the closet finally, and that I can start wearing for fall and winter, and I'm really excited. But a lot of it is, almost all of it is clearance stuff that I bought. And I got really nice stuff on clearance, and I was like, this is so exciting. This is like, oh, the battery is about to die. I'm like, this is, and those things stopped rattling in the back. I'm like, this is like having all new clothes to look at and stuff, you know? And Alex is the same thing. Like, every once in a while, you know, he gets gift cards for every you know, holiday from me and from his mom and from his Aunt Jackie and, you know, workplaces. They'll give him gift cards to Nordstrom or Urban Outfitters, or he loves that, or ASOS is his favorite. So he'll go in there and he'll buy a couple things, like when they're on sale. Like, what did he just buy from ASOS? He bought like 6 pairs of shorts. And he's like, yeah, they're on sale, but they'll be like, you know, good for next year, blah, 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 whatever. And so, you know, then he keeps that stuff, and he keeps it like in the wrapping and everything, like it's brand new. So, because I mean, he got some of these shorts he was showing me were like for like $6 and $4 and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. But I will say that having worked through all that, the relief of that anxiety that goes along with financial insecurity, man, that's not worth it to me. That anxiety that comes along with all of that. I'd rather have a whole lot less and live on a whole lot less and know that I don't need a lot to get by. I just basically need a roof over my head if I can afford it, and food to eat, you know, and be blessed that I have that and not need a whole lot more. You know, today like I said, I'm in a position where I can afford to get more things and, you know, do nice things like when we were traveling and things like that, and have a nice car and whatever, but like, I don't need it. And I know that. And I learned that through all of that, and I don't, you know, I learned it really well through all of that, and I don't know, it's really helped me, and you know, like, I don't have that anxiety, like, okay, I'm back, my battery died, but what I was saying was, I don't have that anxiety that went along with me, you know, having that financial insecurity, that like, when am I gonna be able to pay this, or what am I gonna do about that, or whatever, you know, like, I think also, like, Alex and I thinking about, like, a couple years ago, we did buy a lot of stuff, you know, we did buy a lot of, like, really nice things, and rarely shopped on clearance, which, why, in retrospect, I'm like, that's so stupid, why did I, you know, but, like, why did I pay, you know, like, I didn't have to pay full price for this stuff, because I wanted it then, you know what I mean, and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not saying that I don't always, you know, sometimes I buy things full price now, you know, but not always. But like, I think, you know, Alex and I can remember we were like out to dinner. We have 2 friends of ours, a couple, and they're very professional. They have good jobs. They don't have any kids, and they travel a lot. Like twice a year, they take like an extended vacation of like 2 weeks, and they go to like Thailand. Is this like out of focus? No, they go to like Thailand or Peru, or, I mean, they take these extended trips, right? And Alex and I were always like, God, how do they take these amazing trips? And, you know, and they would fly, like, when they would go places like that, they would like fly first class if they wanted to, you know, and they don't make any more money than we do, you know, but they have these like, and they would do just the coolest things and go on the coolest trips and whatever. And Alex and I were like, we're spending all this, like, one of the things was like going out to dinner as much as we did at that point too, you know, like, we just don't do that as much anymore. And I will say that, like, being at home with COVID really helped that. Like, we go out to eat once or twice a week now, I think, you know, and that includes like our brunch on Sunday. Back then, we were going out to dinner every night, spending $60 plus a dinner. Well, I mean, you know, so Alex and I had a very conscious conversation, and we actually were at dinner one night, and we were talking about our friends that, you know, this couple, and we had just gone to brunch with them, and I can't remember where they went. I think they had just gotten back from like the south of France or something, and they're not like 5-star luxury people either. I mean, like, they might fly first class because they don't want to sit in a plane for 20 hours, you know, or whatever, but like, they do some like really nice things, or they'll stay, you know, like in a, like, you know, a really nice bed and breakfast for 4 nights and like an okay hotel for 4 nights or something like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, and I can remember like Alex and I talking about it, and he was like, well, if we stop spending, he goes, we can do what they do too, and we can have the life that we have. I was like, Alex, there's only so much money to go around. Like, we can't, you know, like, do this and do that and whatever, you know? And he was like, yes, we can. We just have to like be smarter about how we're spending our money. And we decided that year that like going into the next year that we weren't going to spend, I mean, we used to spend ridiculous amounts of money on each other for our birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that, that we weren't going to do that anymore, that we were going to buy small little things for each other, you know, one nice item for each other, but then we were going to do, you know, put money each year for Christmas or birthdays into our travel fund. Okay, money that we would spend for that. And then like every month we were going to put money in a travel fund. We've been doing that ever since. Like, that has been what has allowed us to travel and do those things, you know. And so, you know, like that was smart for us to do too, because we had to prioritize. Like, if you asked my husband what he would spend the money on, he would say, I would rather have an experience like a travel. I'd rather travel with my husband, or, you know, do something like that than just have a bag, which back in the day I wanted. He goes, but I would rather have the experience today. And I 100% agree with that. You know, not that I don't like nice things, don't get me wrong, because I do. We all do. But like, I also think like not everybody does. I shouldn't say that. Not everybody does, but I do. There are some nice things I like. But I also know that I don't need to have a quantity of them either. You know, like, I can have like one nice bag, or, you know, whatever. Because I would rather have a trip than have one of those things. And I think I realize that today too. But I will tell you one thing that I do love, that I am spoiled about, is I do love a nice hotel room. I like to travel nice, all that kind of stuff. Because that for me is when I truly get to relax and enjoy myself. So I really, really enjoy doing all that, you know? But I think it was all just like a change of mindset for us. We're very honest with each other about the money too. Like, people are like, do you and Alex like discuss with each other before you like make, you know, huge purchases? No, we don't. Like, we each pay our part of the bills and what's going on and taxes and all that kind of stuff. And then after that, like, what he wants to do with his money is his money. He works hard for it. What I want to do with mine is mine. I don't question. I mean, if he came home and he had spent like $5,000 on something, I'd say, babe, do you think that was a real smart decision? And if he said, I really thought it through, I'd be like, okay. But, you know, the other thing is usually is we do discuss it with each other. Unless it's like, you know, what is going on with my windshield? Unless it's like him getting on ASOS and, you know, blowing a couple $100 or something. Like, he's not going to come and be like, are you okay with that? Like, I mean, I would never say yes or no to that anyway. That I would say it's your money. You do what you want to do with it at that point, right? So I think that has really helped our relationship too. I've seen so many, you know, relationships, friends of mine, where they just fight over money all the time, and we just don't. Like, I can't really think of a time that we've ever really had any huge arguments over, you know, finances. And, you know, what's interesting is, like, Alex, out of all the people that I've been with, I mean, we split our expenses, like, pretty much right down the middle. And we don't always do that with trips, you know, like, I might pay for a whole trip and he'll pay for the next one or whatever, but we're not like, you get the next one. It's not like that, you know. I mean, I might pay for 3 meals in a row, and the next one he'll be like, okay, I got it. I mean, we just aren't stressed out about that stuff, you know. We just don't worry about it. But, like, at the same time, it's like, I see friends of mine that are like, well, you know, I was going to go and do this today, but I know that, you know, you know, John and Judy, let's just make up names, right? I just knew John would be pissed if I came home and I had spent, you know, such and such. I don't want to have that argument. I don't want my husband to feel like he can't go purchase something. He works very, very hard. You know, he deserves to have whatever he wants to have, and so do I. And, you know, Now, if they're huge items, like cars, we always discuss that. Like our cars, we discussed. You know, I discussed with him getting this car, and he discussed with me getting the Jeep, and things like that. Like, we always, like, those are, like, big deal discussions that we do have with each other. Stuff like that. Trips, we always discuss with each other, but those are things we're doing together, you know? I can't actually think of anything, because we're not jewelry people. We're not people that are buying, like, tons of high-end stuff, you know? Like, I'm trying to think of an example of something that, like, Alex actually, he likes the high-end stuff more than I do. And, I mean, we have some really nice pieces of some things that we've bought through the years. I just don't really ever use them except for my wallet. But that was a gift that he gave me, I think, 2 years ago for my birthday or Christmas or something. And then he'd given me the one that I had before. He gave it to me with a Gucci messenger bag, and that was for, like, Christmas, like, 8 years ago. Which is funny because I carry this, and I, like, very rarely ever carry that bag. And then I have, like, I think another Gucci messenger bag, and the Louis Vuitton fanny pack. It doesn't matter. That stuff is, you know, it's fun, but like, if he was going to go and buy, like, a $2,000 backpack, yes, that would probably be a conversation that we would have. He'd be like, but he wouldn't be like, are you okay with me doing it? He would say, what do you think? And I'd say, well, what do you mean, what do I think? Do you have the money for it? Is it like, is that what you want to spend $2,000 on? If he was like, yeah, I've really thought about it and I really want to do it. Like, you know, one of the things, like, Alex really, like, he wants a really nice, he goes into a lot of meetings. So he wants, like, a really nice computer case, like a Louis Vuitton, like, you know, thing or something like that. Like, that makes sense to me if he wants to spend the money on that. Like, he works very hard. If he wants to sit in a meeting and have that, like, you know, I'm talking about, like a thing you slide your computer into or whatever, like, I'm okay, spend your money on that. Like, that's fine, you know? But I think it's important for couples to have conversations about finances. I actually have quite a few friends that friends of mine that are couples that keep secrets from each other about finances too. And I don't think that's smart, you know? Like, oh, don't tell John that I bought this or whatever, you know? It was a gift. I'm like, why? Just have the conversation, you know? And I actually think that Alex and I, like, working through debt and, you know, talking about openly about money and learning to save money and learning to be real and to really think about our future. This is a big part of it too. I don't know if people think of it this way, but, you know, a lot of our conversations are about, like, okay, when are we gonna, like, when we're older? Because I'm 12 years older than Alex, so there's gonna be a day that, like, foreseeably he has to take care of me, you know what I mean? And so we think a lot about our future. We think a lot about financially what do we want our future to look like and things like that, right? So that has really, and that was a big part of counseling too, that has really brought us together as far as, I don't know where to go. Like, where to go to listen to my audiobook. Was somebody just texting me? Oh, Valerie said to say hi to her. Hi, Valerie. Hi, Ballerini. I love you, Ballerini. But, you know, like, okay, so if you're thinking about saving money together and you're talking about saving money together and what you want your future to look like financially, then you're discussing your future and you're thinking about your future and you're planning your future. And if you're doing all of that together, then that is helping your future together, like your long-term goals. Like, I think it's important that who you're with, that you have similar long-term goals. I think that that's important, you know? And so that really helped us, I think, especially get through, like, a lot of difficult times when we're like, hey, we're in it for the long haul, you know? So I would definitely, I just think it's smart to be, like, we talk about communication being so important with relationships. It's like, if you can't communicate about money, that Cracker Barrel, I have not been to Cracker Barrel in so long. Like, God, I can just smell it inside there. It sounds so good. But if you can't communicate about money with each other, then that's a serious problem, you know? think it was hard for me growing up to I think it was hard for me the way that I grew up and then being in relationships about money. I tended to always be the person taking care of everything financially. I think I saw that from my dad as like a love language. And the part of the problem was like my parents never talked about money. Like never. Like to this day, I mean, my friends cannot believe this. Like I have no idea about my dad's finances. I don't ask. I never have. We've never talked about it. None whatsoever. I have no idea what he ever made. I have no idea what he made. I don't know anything about any of that kind of stuff. We don't talk about it, and we never have. And I can tell you that if we were having this conversation, my dad was sitting here, he'd say, it's none of your business. And he'd say, and I don't think it's anybody's business to talk about their money with their kids. Now, maybe when they're adults and they're older, as far as getting their, plans together and whatever, and, but, like, I know my dad is taking care of everything, and that if, like, whatever, so that's beside the point. But anyway, but, like, as far as, like, when I was growing up, like, my parents never said to me things like, well, like, this is going to cost too much money, or this is too expensive, or, and there were times when I was, like, a lot younger that my parents, like, my dad did very well, like, once I hit junior high and high school, but before that, like, that they struggled and stuff, and, they just never talked to me about, like, money. Like, my dad later said to me, he goes, I just don't believe that parents should talk to their kid when they're kids, like, not maybe when they're 40, that's different, when you're talking to your kids about, like, financial planning and, like, what they want for you and all that kind of stuff, but when you're growing up, like, to talk to your 12-year-old and say, my dad just didn't like that. He just didn't think it was appropriate, and he never did. So I had really no roadmap for what having discussions with somebody financially looked like. Really until, like, I sat down with my dad and said that, I know there's a lot of people out there, a lot of my haters like to believe that I'm on a trust fund or that my dad takes care of me financially. That's absolutely 100% not the truth. And actually, my dad has not financially helped me with the exception of 2 occasions since I was 23 years old. And I pride myself on that, so just so you know. I'm not the kid that gets $5,000 at Christmas, and my dad would never. He would never. My dad would probably not give me $20 cash, honestly, because of being an addict. He just doesn't believe in it. So, but we had a conversation, when I got sober, that I said for me to, because our relationship was a lot about my dad doing financial things for me, like buying me cars and, lawyers and, like everything I had. It was because my dad took care of me. And so after I got up on my feet, after like getting sober, my sponsor suggested, well, okay, there's kind of actually a funny story to this, but some people won't think it's funny. So I needed a new car. And my sponsor said, I think you need to have a conversation with your dad and tell him that you don't want to... Well, I just talked about my sponsors the other day. So this is my first sponsor that said this to me. My first sponsor said, I think you need... This is the guy that I didn't get along with real great. You need to tell your dad that you don't want to take any money from him anymore and that you don't need him anymore financially and blah, 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 whatever. Because a lot of our relationship had to do with my dad and, like, him... like giving to me and taking care of me. And I always felt like, to some degree, he didn't do this, but I felt like that was held over my head. If I had to be, anyway. And so, but there was a lot of our relationship that was about money, money's tricky with stuff like that in families. And, and my sponsor also felt that I was staying sober because I was afraid of being homeless, which was absolutely 100% the truth. That was absolutely it. That was my bottom, was that I was afraid of being homeless. I had no idea how to take care of myself. I had literally never worked before except for being a drug dealer. And I had no idea what I was going to do if my dad wasn't taking care of me. So to go to my dad and say, I don't want you to take care of me anymore, was terrifying, right? And I needed a new car. So I allowed my dad, so I went and got a new car with my dad. I got rid of that sponsor and I got my second sponsor, which I talked about on here the other day. Anyway, I mean, that wasn't the only reason why, but, and then my dad sat down and had a conversation with, which my sponsor coached me through, where I told my dad, like, I need to be responsible for myself. Like, I can't continue to take money from you for you to, I'm about to start laughing because I can remember my dad's response. I can remember I was like real worried that like my dad would be upset or something. Like he'd be like, well, I still want to help you, you know, whatever. And I remember like I can see myself like having this conversation with him in his office, and I thinking, and I really discussed it with my sponsor about how I was going to approach it. And I was like, I think it would be best if I don't take money from you anymore, if you don't help me with my bills, if I'm just 100% on my own, and I just don't want to take money from you anymore, because that's you enabling me, and I need to learn to be on my own 2 feet, and I need to learn, you know, what like money really means and working hard for my money. I remember my first paycheck that I got was like, I was making like $7 something an hour, and it was like $421 for 2 weeks, which I could have probably made in an hour dealing. And I can remember looking at that check, and it's one of the proudest moments of my life, in all honesty. My first thought was, you can make this in an hour dealing drugs. And my second thought was, I was like super, super proud of that money that I had made, because I had earned it, you know. And I, all of a sudden, I really did know what it meant to hard earn your money. Like, I got it, you know. When my dad would say, I used to put my feet up on this table in his kitchen. He'd say, get your feet off that kitchen table. He'd be like, when you can afford to buy that table, then you can put your feet up on it. But until then, get that down, you know. But anyway, I remember saying to my dad that I wasn't going to take money anymore. I thought he was going to be so hurt and upset. My dad looked at me and goes, okay. Is this stopping now? Like, right now, are we done? Like, yeah. Okay. I think that's great. So, and there's only been 2 other occasions. One was the week that my mom passed away. I wasn't working at all, and so my dad gave me a check, which I paid him back for. And then there was another occasion. Was it another occasion or 3? Maybe it was 2 more occasions. Anyway, every cent I've ever borrowed from him, I've paid him back. So, and that feels good, you know. I had a friend of mine. She comes from like, you know, well-to-do family and stuff, and she said to me one time, we were talking, and she said, something about like when our fathers died, like if they left us money, and I said, I don't think about that. And she said, you really don't think about that? And I said, I really never think about that. And she said, why not? And I said, because if my dad passed away, I don't know that he's going to leave me anything. I mean, we've never discussed it. We've literally never discussed it. I have no idea. Whatever, you know, my stepmom, she's much younger than my dad. Why would he, you know? And she said, well, you're entitled to that money. Wouldn't you be upset if he didn't leave you money? I was actually, Tanya and I were just talking about this tonight. And I said, entitled to that money? I said, my father worked his entire life for that. I'm not entitled to any of that. I'm not deserving of any of that. It's his money, whatever he wants to do with it. And you know, like in that moment, like I really realized like how far I came. Because there was a moment when 18-year-old, 20-year-old spoiled brat Peter would have said, absolutely, I deserve something. But I don't feel that way today. I don't know why that got me teary-eyed. It's like, because my dad and I have an amazing relationship, and we have the relationship that we have today because I don't need him. Yet again, another person that's in my life because I choose for them to be there, and he chooses for me to be in his life. You know, yes, he's my father, but past that, it's like, I'm not like calling him and being like, hey, can I do that? Can I borrow this? Can you give me $100 for this? That was our relationship for so long, you know? And it just was tiresome and old, and I'm just so thankful I don't have that relationship with him today, you know? So, but don't get me wrong, I have a lot of friends of mine, who every year, at the end of the year, their parents, because they can financially, give them like $5,000, $10,000, $100,000, $100,000. I do have friends of mine that get like literally $100,000 a year. You know, down payments on houses, things like that, because their parents want them to have that money before they, you know, they're getting older, they could die. They want them to have it now. They want them to enjoy it while they're still alive. But I'm always kind of like, God, that would be so nice, you know? But would it? I mean, I don't know that I want what goes along with it. I think there's something to be said about the pride of earning your own income and paying your own bills. You know, Alex and I don't have, I mean, we take nice trips. Other than that, and we have nice cars. One that I'm paying for, and one that he, you know, leases to buy. And it's like, other than that, like, our house is tiny. It's old. You know, I got it from my mom. Like, let's just be for real, you know, but I'm, you know, making payments on it. And other than that, like, we don't live extravagant lives. And I'm totally fine with that, you know? I used to think, like, if I won the Powerball, like, my life would change so drastically. I don't really know that it would a whole lot. Like, I think if I won, like, some mass amount of money, like $100 million, I think I probably would redo our condo. I mean, I wouldn't get rid of our condo. There's memories there. That place means a lot to me, you know? It means a lot to Alex now. But I would hire a contractor to come in and just gut the place exactly how we want it, and I would have that place be our dream condo, is what I would do. And then Alex has always wanted a penthouse and a high rise in Florida, and I would, you know, buy him his dream penthouse in South Florida in Miami, you know? But other than that, like, in us traveling, like, the rest would probably just go into savings to live off of, you know? And that's what my husband always says. If you ask him, if you won $100 million, he'd say, I buy a penthouse in Florida, and the rest I would just live off the interest. He always just says that. So, I don't know. Like, I guess, you know, I don't... Back in the day, it was like, well, I'd have this car, and I'd have that car, and I'd have this, and I'd whatever, you know? I mean, sure, I think it'd be kind of fun to, like... Well, it's funny, too. Like, back in the day, like, I really wanted a Range Rover, or, you know, I even kind of, like, looked at some, you know, a while ago, and I'm like, why do I need this car? And then I looked at, you know, like, I've always wanted, like, a Porsche, like a convertible, like an old vintage Porsche convertible. I think would be really fun to drive. And, but my favorite is, I can't remember what they're called. They're called, like, Scouts or something, I think. And they're, like, those old, like, Land Rover looking deals. I'd love to have one of those. I think that would be really fun. I don't know. All this talk about stuff that doesn't really matter anyway, does it? But it's kind of fun to talk about, I guess, money stuff. Not money stuff, but, like, if you won the lottery, what would you do? I definitely put college funds aside for Carlitos and Sebastian, and I take care of my in-laws and Caroline and everybody, and, you know. I don't even think my dad would take money if I offered it to him. You know, from, like, if I won some huge, like, mass lottery winning. I would definitely continue doing YouTube. I feel like this is, like, the biggest blessing that's ever happened in my life, is that I get to do this. It's, like, the coolest thing, you know? I love this. I love everything about it. I don't think it's going to matter, though. I don't think I'm going to win the $100 million Powerball. It's not even up to $100 million, but partly that, partly I don't buy tickets anymore. So that's part of one of the things I stopped buying when I was working on debt, was lottery tickets. It's like paying a lot of money for air. I actually have known a few people, though, like, either, like, they won the lottery, or, like, family members of theirs won the lottery. Like, I have somebody that I know very well that, like, her sister, yeah, it was her sister. They're like my age. Her sister won the lottery, and she won quite a bit of money in the lottery. Like, she split, like, it literally was like $100 million Powerball, but she had to split it with one other person. Can you imagine? I was watching Big Brother the other night, and Danny and I thought this was so telling of their character. When Danny and what's the guy? I can't think of his name. Tyler, like they went for the rewards instead of head of household or whatever, and which Christmas was like, I'm so tired of the show. I'm so tired of Big Brother this season. It's the worst season I have ever watched Big Brother, period, in a story. There's not one person. First of all, I hope he wins the whole show. I hope Kevin or David, they have put them up so many times on the block, and they have been so rude and ruthless to them. I hope they win the whole show. One of them does, just out of spite. Tanya was like, I don't think Kevin doesn't deserve to win because he hasn't won anything. I'm like, other people have won the show and never won a head of household or anything. But anyway, they've literally gotten rid of everybody interesting in the entire show. Now it's down to the 6 of them that can't, like, none of them are interesting. There are no personalities on the show whatsoever. And it's all just a numbers game. It's just like, oh, let's the 6 of us stick together for a whole show. Well, if you have those numbers and you stick to it and you sell everybody else up the river, well, then of course you're going to win. It's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Don't people understand that? There's no, like, it's just, these are the numbers, let's stick to them, and if we trust each other to stick to them, and we don't care about anybody else, then we will always win, and they're going to win, and it's going to be top 6, and that's how it's going to be, and I can't stand any of them. I think they're so boring, and Danny and Tyler are out there, and they're competing for this $10,000, and they both get the same number, and so they have to split it. And they're both bitter as hell that they have to split this $10,000 if they each get $5,000. They're mad about it. I'm like, y'all are greedy. Like, seriously? $5,000 is a lot of money. You'd be thankful for that. Anyway, I have rambled. I was going to stop in just a second. Hold on. I had like 15 seconds left, I think. I have rambled on and on and on tonight, and I would like to listen to my audiobook so I can finish it tonight. I'm really excited to see how it ends. Oh, the sequel comes out next May. I looked on Audible today. It's called, so the first book is called A Bad Day for Sunshine. The second one is called, I think it's called A Good Day for Chardonnay. Isn't that kind of a funny, cute little title to it? Anyway, I think it's very apropos. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now, and I'm just going to do a real short, quick goodbye. And that is that I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. Unless you have other plans, but like I always say, don't have other plans. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. I hope you guys have an amazing day filled with all kinds of positive things. You can start your day over whenever you want. Be kind to everyone around you. Practice random acts of kindness. Let somebody in your life know how much they mean to you. And be happy, joyous, and free. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And if you are already subscribed, thank you. I really, really appreciate it, and I love you guys so much. Hugs and kisses. Hugs and kisses, like Tati always says. Anyway, hugs and kisses, and hugs and kisses. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!